everybody. Welcome to Campaign's latest online briefing, cross-platform content, how to do it right. I'm Austin Allison, the editor of Campaign Middle East. You can check out Campaign's campaign at campaign.com. You can listen to our podcast on Angami or wherever you get your podcasts. You can check out Campaign, getting ahead of myself there. You can go to our website and register for Marcoms 360 Predictions 2022, which is our flagship annual event taking place physically as well as streamed on November the 11th at 5 the Palm. We've got some great issues coming up in the magazine as well. If you're an outdoor company, then you can make sure that you get in touch with me or my colleague Nadeem to be listed in our out-of-home guide at the end of October. And on September 26th, we'll be publishing our power list. Thanks a million to our sponsors, of course, MMS and TikTok. I would like to welcome Richard Addington from NBC Media Solutions. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Austin.
And what's your title at NBC, Richard? Just fill us in on that.
I run one of the agency partnerships teams that we have here at MMS. So we've split the market into two groups of agencies. I run one of them, so I lead the relationship with MCN, with Omnicom Media Group, with Havas, and a few of the other agencies in the region.
Excellent. So you'll be no stranger to our next panelist, who is Maya Ajram, who is the Deputy GM at UAE. And I think that finishing off our trinity of all-star panelists, we have Toby Jezard, who is the Senior Offline Marketing Manager at Delivery Hero. Now, we're talking about cross-platform content, and I'd like to start off by figuring out what that actually means.
Very simply, cross-platform content is content that lives on multiple touch points, but takes on a different angle when it comes to storytelling. So this angle is very much linked to the role of the platform itself. It's linked to the best practice of this platform, be it whether we should exist in long form or short-term videos, etc. And it's also linked, firstly and most importantly, to the role of consumer or the consumer behavior on that platform itself.
If we look at the audience example, someone who was, 11 or 12 years old 10 years ago is now in their early 20s. They've entered the workforce. They have certain amount of purchasing power. Their behaviors are completely different to someone who is now in their early 30s. So audience is one thing I think that has evolved over that time. Another big area I think where we've seen change is technology and digital, which are sort of bucketed together. 10 years ago, again, you look at the marketing mix, platforms such as TikTok and Snapchat and others weren't part of the ecosystem back then. We've seen mobile grow significantly. We've seen technologies such as 5G impact the way we can also distribute and consume content.
So if you are moving towards a high reach strategy, and if the purpose behind sponsoring or aligning yourself with a certain program is linked directly to reach and reach alone, then automatically your brand assets should prevail. And automatically the association with the show is not as necessary as the reach garnered from that show.
All you have to think about is who is a consumer and at what point in their day will they interact with this media and for how long. So as I talked about, partnerships or sponsorships, they have a long half-life. On TV, you might be able to use a longer format that might be able to communicate a more complex brand message or proposition. But then when we're going to switch to something like TikTok or Snapchat or anything like that, naturally we're going to drill it down to the juiciest bits, because you can do whatever you want, but you may just end up throwing money away if you put in a very text-heavy, slow ad on TikTok, because people will just scroll straight past.
Now we're going to be going to our second panel called Doing It Right. If I could introduce our moderator, who is known to an awful lot of students and a lot of professionals here, and that is Dina Faur, who is the Professor of Advertising at the American University in Dubai. And Dina will be joined with an amazing panel that is made up of Paul Bannon, who is Mullenlow MENA's Regional Executive Creative Director. Hey, Paul, how are you?
Very well. Good to be here.
So we've got a creative, we've got a platform, which is represented by Fahad Osman, who is the Regional Director of Global Business Marketing Meta at TikTok and ByteDance. And finally, from a brand point of view, we are joined by none other than Amy Peters, who is the Group Head of Marketing and Communications at Mashreq Bank. Hi, Amy.
There is no one size fits all sort of approach from an integrated perspective, but I think it's about finding the right channels that are going to do the right things at the right time for the campaign, brand, or the idea that you're trying to translate and get across to people.
Here's the problem with Cheetos. They're messy. The Cheeto dust gets on your hands and it gets all over everything. It's like glitter, but delicious.
Excellent, thank you. What do you think, Fahad?
I'm personally hungry. Right? Every time I watch that case, I'm a massive fan of Cheetos. And oh dear God, why?
That was my start. Please go on. I'm listening.
I think there are an awful lot of ideas that never see the light of day because they can't quite stand the test of the what if.
The way that what I like to do, or the way that we like to think, is that I effectively start everything that we're working on from the same point of view, and that's that no one cares about what we're creating. Like, no one sets out to read ads. People effectively read what interests them.
Take iterative risks. If you're going to develop a brand that stands out, okay, it has to stand out because it's doing something different.
Thanks, guys. That was absolutely brilliant. I was going to try and sum it up, but I think that Dina did a good job of it. You said it has to be brave and wise and engaging, which I think is a very good summary of this panel. So thanks, guys. That was really good.